Look at this thing. This thing is really cool. I got a special little video for you today. We're gonna be talking about the Polaroid Originals Mickey Mouse or Disney 600 camera. Let's learn about it.
You know the type of guy that was a jock in high school but ended up becoming a huge nerd? You know, someone that's not afraid to make a fool of themselves on the internet. And someone that likes to shoot Polaroid a little too much. Did I say huge nerd? You know, just an ordinary, everyday guy. Well, that's me. I'm just another Chris.
So this is a special and unique camera. Now, this is a Polaroid Originals camera. Maybe you don't know what Polaroid Originals is or was. It's Polaroid, but before that it was called the Impossible Project, and before that it was called Polaroid, but now it's called Polaroid. It's very confusing, I know. Basically, Polaroid went bankrupt, Impossible Project formed, then Impossible Project turned into Polaroid Originals, then Polaroid Originals bought the name Polaroid, and now they're Polaroid. But it gets even more confusing than this. This is actually made by a company called Retrospect. I know, it's wild. Retrospect was the official licensor, manufacturer slash refurbisher of Polaroid Originals and Polaroid for a little bit, but they make custom cool cameras and also refurbished old vintage cameras for Polaroid, which they no longer do as far as I know. However, Retrospect still does cool cameras, which we'll get into in just a second. But you may have noticed on Polaroid's website, you could buy vintage cameras. They were always triple the price of what they actually are worth. So sorry if you purchased one of those from the website thinking you were getting a normal good deal. You weren't. But those cameras were refurbished by Retrospect. They were an authorized dealer, authorized refurbisher. Polaroid just turned around and sold them on their website. Or if you had repairs you needed done to your cameras, as far as I know, they just went to Retrospect. But I don't know if Polaroid and Retrospect still work together, because I know they don't sell vintage cameras on their website anymore, and they don't sell cool cameras like this Disney camera on their site anymore either. But this particular custom camera was made in 2018 to commemorate Mickey's 90th anniversary. Don't get confused with Disney's anniversary, which is 100 this year. Yeah. When Retrospect first started doing these cool custom cameras, they would disassemble the cameras and like repaint them, add new graphics to them, and then sell them as its unique, brand new type of camera, which was really cool because it turned basic, generic, no one wants cameras into cameras that people wanted. Like this one. This is the Cam Jazz 96. It's just a 600 close-up camera that they repainted to make look honestly a lot cooler. Now, as they progressed as a customizer, and when they became a little more authorized with Polaroid, they actually started injecting molding new housings and casings, which they still do to this day. So this is a new slash vintage camera. It has a brand new shell, but the internals are vintage. And it's just a basic like one-step flash camera, but they put a new shell on it and slapped Mickey on it and made it look really cool. And really expensive, by the way. This thing is not cheap to find. But I got lucky in that a fellow instant photographer hooked me up on a sweet deal on this camera. Shout out to you, Heather. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Retrospect still continues to make really cool and unique cameras. They are expensive though. I think base price for some of these cameras are about $160, $170 per camera. It just depends on if it's still in stock or not. With that said though, if you are eyeing a camera from Retrospect and you're just on the fence about, I would buy it. Because once it's gone, it's gone. You're either not gonna be able to find it or you're gonna have to pay up for it, like a lot of money for it later. So enough talking about this, let's go out and shoot this. But I actually have a fun idea for this. Let's take a little trip. Look at that!
The tower with Rapunzel. Yeah, it actually worked.
Yeah, it matches.
It matches.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Boom!
Boom! Oh, there I am.
This camera is really fun, really cool. It's no different than any other 600 camera on the market, like I was saying, and the functionality is pretty basic and easy. It is a fixed focal length. It doesn't have a close-up attachment. It has 2 modes to fire. You can fire with a flash and without a flash. I gotta tell you something though. It took me far too long to realize you can actually shoot this without flash. There's 2 buttons on here. You push the big main button to fire with the flash, and right behind it there's this little tiny one. You can fire it without flash. Came in handy, it's really nice. But other than that, that's all of the functionality that it does. It folds down, sort of, and shoots 600 film. Pretty basic, pretty cool camera. And I gotta say, the quality I was getting out of this, pretty stellar. Do I recommend getting this camera? Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, if you're a Disney fan, yeah, absolutely. If you can find one and you're willing to pay up for it, because they are pretty expensive, definitely track one down. But you can still find the exact same camera, just not with the Disney design, for like 20 to 30 bucks. It's not an expensive camera. You're really just paying for the redesign and for the Disney aspect of it. That's really where the value comes in. Pretty much with all Retrospect cameras, you're literally paying for the aesthetic. So if you're a collector, these do look really cool on a shelf all lined up. And yeah, so in that aspect, yeah, I definitely recommend it. Special shout out again to Heather for hooking me up with this camera and showing me around Disney World. That's all I got for you in today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now, get out there, make some art.